Namaste, everybody. Welcome to your practice. Hello, yogis. I'm Stephen from YogaWorks, and today we're doing just a nice, fun, balancing flow. If you think about it, if we want to grow and expand and take our life and experience to a new level, then the first thing we have to create is a strong foundation and actually a sense of ease. If we're not at ease in our body, in our mind, in our emotions, in our energy, then there's going to be the opposite of ease is obviously dis-ease, if you look at it this way. So we have a lot of names for it. It could be stress, anxiety, discomfort, impatience, whatever it is. All these names point to a sort of dis-ease. So how do we deal with this? How do we restore that sense of ease, of balance, from which we can just move forward in a joyful way and also feel inspired to share this with the others around you? Well, I've got a couple of ideas which the yoga practice offers us. Some of these techniques are a couple of thousands years old. Nobody really knows how old. And I want to share them with you. And if we repeat this often, then we're restoring our own sense of balance, which is automatically going to magnetize everybody to us. You'll become kind of irresistible when you're a person that is at ease, that is joyful, that is balanced. Then you'll be that sort of pillar of support in your community, in your family, in your organization, whatever is the case. So I want to start with a short breathing exercise, which is called alternate nostril breathing. And in yoga, it's called Nadi Shodhana, the clearing of the energy channels. That's more or less what the translation means. And we'll be using a mudra, which is a signal for the hand or position for the hand. So I'm taking my dominant hand. For me, it's my right. It might be your left. And then taking the first two fingers, the index finger and the middle finger, into the palm. And this leaves the thumb and then the ring finger and the pinky finger out. And then it's a really nice way to close one nostril at a time like this. So I'll be talking you through this. If this doesn't feel good, then you can always straighten the fingers, put them above your nose, or just do something else to close one nostril at a time. It doesn't really matter. All right, here we go. Take a deep breath in before we start. Take a slow exhale. And close your right nostril. Breathe in through the left. And then close the left. Open the right and exhale. Keep the right open. Inhale through the right. Close the right, open the left, exhale left. That's one round. Inhale left. Close and exhale right. Inhale right. Close your eyes so you can notice what's happening. Exhale left. Inhale through the left. Close, exhale through the right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Watch the flow of your breath. We'll do one more round. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. And exhale left. Release your hands to your lap. Just take a few breaths and notice the flow of breath and maybe how your mind reacts to this simple breathing exercise. Sometimes you feel like an immediate reaction, a sense of calm, a sense of balancing or ease. And then I'm going to move back to my mat so you can see a bit better when we start to move around a bit more. We'll start with a few rounds of cat and cow just to continue our breath work, but start to link it to a little bit of movement, mainly spinal movements. So move through this on the inhales. I'm dropping my chest looking up a bit, pulling the hands to the knees. On the exhales, I'm attempting to slide the hands forward and tucking chin to chest. Couple of breaths like this. And this is one pose that you can't really overdo, so you can really get in there, find a maximum arching and rounding of your spine, and see if you can link that to the breath again. Let's do one more round. Inhale, that's cow with the hollow back. Exhale, cat pose, round your back, lift the belly, and then settle in the middle. Now tuck your toes under and see if you can lift your knees just a tiny bit off the mat. And this is going to switch on all the muscles around the front of the hips and your abdominals just to keep you steady here. And then see if you can do the same cat and cow, but it's not going to be the same because your knees are lifted. So inhale, cow, exhale, cat, and then suddenly this becomes quite the core exercise with your knees hovering really low just above the mat. Exhale, cat. One more round, inhale. And exhale. You're probably not going as far as with your knees down, but that's totally fine. All right. Let's do one more little balancing work. We're taking pieces of support away, and then we're seeing how our system deals with this. A little bit like, when the pandemic hits and you can't move around so freely, that's points of support that are no longer there. And if we approach it in a good way, it can actually make us stronger as human beings. None of this easy, but it is a good strengthening exercise. Hover your knees again. Lift the right foot a little bit off the mat. Don't change anything else. Place the right foot down. Lift the left foot a little bit off the mat. Place it down. Lift the right hand a little bit off the mat. Place it down. Lift the left hand a little bit off the mat. Place it down. Now see if we can lift right hand, left foot. Left hand, right foot. Right hand, left foot. Left hand, right foot. A couple of times so you're just almost crawling in place. It's a really good coordination and balancing exercise. And then release that and go to downward facing dog. Might be your first down dog of the day, so feel free to walk out the legs, stretch your heels down one at a time. And I like to actually lean the hips into it a little bit so you can get a nice side bend along the whole side of the rib cage and even under that arm. And when you're done settling in, take a moment to just feel that balance, the strength, the support on your 4 pillars of grounding here, your 2 hands, your 2 feet. Let a couple of breaths just move through this shape. If you need to bend the knees to have a bit more length for the spine, then that's always a good idea. And then let's lift the right leg high. Right leg, stretch it up, doesn't really matter how high you go. And then see if you can stabilize through the remaining 3 points of support, 2 hands, 1 foot. Still stretching that left heel down as best as you can. And then if you want to play a little bit more with your balance, start to walk the left hand maybe under your shoulder. Maybe a bit further back with the fingers turned towards that left heel or left toes rather. And maybe if you feel steady, you come to one finger. Maybe the left hand lifts up. Just for a moment to play around. No worries if that didn't go according to plan. Whatever goes according to plan. Anyway, so come back to downward facing dog. I know we're here for quite a while on the hands, but it's our warm-up. So see if you can stay with it. Good, lift the left leg high. Left leg stretching up into the air. Again, don't worry how high the leg is exactly, rather focus on the balancing, the grounding through the hands and through the one foot that is still down. And then maybe that right hand wants to slide back. Maybe slide all the way back to your right foot somewhere. And maybe right hand lifts up next to your hip. 3, 2, 1. And place everything down. Immediately remove any judgment about how that went. This is less interesting than the actual work and learning of the pose, so stay with that. And then just walk your feet forward to the front. Take a moment to hang down, maybe holding opposite elbows, or just resting the arms wherever they land. Feel the balance again between the front of the foot and the heels, between the left leg and the right leg. And see if you can settle in the middle. Good, release your arms and slowly start to roll up to standing. So we'll do a couple of fun balancing movements which include a little bit of mobility work. So let's see how we go. Lift the arms and lift your heels. Lift the heels as high as you can. Keep your core strong and really stretch up as high as you can through the fingertips. You feel your calves, your ankles are going to be really active to keep your balance. That's normal. Keep the arms up and start to bend your knees. Can you go halfway down? Just halfway. And then can you go a little bit further down so that your hips hover above the heels? Don't sit down yet. And then sit the hips down onto your heels. Stretch up through the arms. Good, you could bring hands to heart. And then slowly drop the knees down and untuck the toes. Sit back, just walk the hands back for a moment. So we're starting to lengthen a little bit into the quads. The front of the legs is going to help us to move through these movements with a little bit more ease. Just a moment here, feel a bit of space in the front of the legs. You can lean more back, but the point is not to go too far here. And then release that, coming back up, sitting in, this is called Vajrasana, the thunderbolt. I'm going to tuck the toes under, place your feet a bit wider than you think. So more like a squat almost. And then see if you can lean your weight back and come into a squat, maybe without using your hands. Or maybe use your hands just to get the job done. That's of course okay. Stand up, lift the arms, lift the heels, higher, higher, higher. Stretch up and squeeze your core together, squeeze the buttocks a little bit. And then bend your knees, go halfway down, pause, inhale. Go almost all the way down, pause, hover just above your heels. Good, sit all the way onto your heels, you can release the arms, lower the knees, untuck the toes, sit back. Tuck your toes, there's no break this time. Feet a bit wider, remember. Slowly leaning back, trying to control that movement. Can you come into a squat? And then slowly lift back up. Nice. Let's do that one more time. Shake the legs out, get ready. Feet hip distance and strong. Lift the heels, lift the arms, and breathe. Choose a focus point, and then start to bend your knees. Go halfway down, lots of leg strength. Like a chair pose with the heels up. And then go almost all the way down, pause. Sit down on the heels, well done. Hands can release, lower the knees to the mat. Untuck the toes, thunderbolt, Vajrasana, just as a little break. Okay, that was it for break. Tuck your toes. How slowly can you move your weight back? Squat to mountain. Well done. That was some good mobility work. Stand tall. Bring your hands to your heart. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a few settling, grounding breaths. We're learning how to control our system, our body and our minds a little bit better so that they can form the foundation to create a sense of balance and ease, from which all the other growth is possible. Without a strong foundation on a shaky underground, you're just not going to grow very far. So let's start with the groundwork. Speak of groundwork, let's do some sun salutations. I've modified them to make them more unstable on purpose. Enjoy. Hands to heart. Inhale, lift the arms. Mountain. This time with the feet down, just feel what amazing base of support that gives you compared to before on the toes. Exhale, open the arms forward, fold. You can always bend your knees a bit here, no problem. Inhale, flat back. See if you can move without hands. No hands down. Lift your right foot. Stretch it back. All the way back. Softly place it down. Lower the right knee. And then lift the torso up. So we're in a low lunge. Now place your right knee and your left foot in the same line. So they are directly in front of each other. In a normal yoga class, that's terrible alignment. Don't do this in a normal class. But for this class, we're doing this on purpose to become more unbalanced, actually, just to learn. And then lift the arms and bend your front knee a little bit more. Squeeze the inner thighs together. So it's a low lunge with extra instability built in. And then lower your hands. Downward facing dog. Step back. Inhale to plank. Exhale, slowly lower down. Locust pose. Lengthen the fingers back. Heart goes forward. Lift your legs, your arms, your chest. And then make your way back to downward facing dog. Take a breath. Inhale. Exhale, step right foot forward. Left knee down. Normal stance this time. So there's about hip distance between your feet. Lift the arms. Feel the difference. Exhale, hands down, step forward and fold. Inhale to rise, go all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, feel the midline of your body. Exhale, fold forward from the hips. Inhale, flat back, chest goes way forward. No hands. Transfer weight onto your right foot, lift the left foot. Stretch it back. How softly can you land at the back of the mat, then lower the knee down. Nice, lift the torso, wiggle the right foot in front of that left knee, directly in the same line. And hope for the best. Bend your right knee, lift the arms, low lunge, nice and shaky. If you fall out, of course, no problem to come straight back. And then release the hands. Downward facing dog. Inhale, plank pose, shift forward. Exhale, take your time, lower down. Locust again, lift the upper body, lift the lower body. And lift the hands, I like the palms facing down. It feels like the front of the shoulders is more open this way. And then release that, down dog. Make your way back. Take a breath. Inhale. Exhale, left foot forward, right knee down. This time, normal distance between the left foot and the back knee. Lift the arms, inhale. Exhale, step forward, fold. Inhale, rise. All the way up, push your feet down. Exhale, hands to the heart. Take a slow breath in. Take a slow breath out. Let's do one more round. We'll do high lunges instead of low lunges. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. And balance your weight between the feet. Inhale, flat back, the chest goes forward. Good. No hands. Bend the knees a bit. Transfer weight into your left foot, lift the right foot. Stretch the right leg back, almost like a mini warrior 3. Stretch back, 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 back. This time keep your knee lifted if you can. Lift up to high lunge. Before we lift the arms, wiggle your feet so they're in the same line again. Left foot directly in front of the right foot. For you to bend your right knee, but it's fine. And then lift the arms. High lunge. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Feel the little micro adjustments that your body makes. Even without you getting involved, your body does it for you. It, in some ways, it's way more intelligent than what our thinking mind can achieve here. Lower the hands. Down dog. If you had to think of all these little adjustments, you get quite overwhelmed. Now I have to balance my ankle. Now I have to move my hips a little bit left. Now I have to swing out my right arm. It will become quite overwhelming. Inhale here. Exhale, step the right foot forward. Keep the left knee high. Hip distance apart. Normal high lunge this time. Lift the arms and take a breath. Exhale, hands down, step forward, fold. Inhale, root to rise all the way up, stretch. Exhale, hands to heart. Got one side left, then we'll change it up into some other standing poses. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, hinge from the hips, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, the halfway lift. Weight on your right foot, lift the left foot. Stretch it back. Take your time. Land softly with control. Wiggle the right foot in front of the left. Just look down to make sure you get this right. Actually, you get this wrong, but it's wrong on purpose, remember. So here we are. Lift the arms and experience the extra challenge in the balance. Strong legs. And again, this activity that the body is engaged in below the level of our consciousness almost. Lower the hands. Down dog. Stretch back. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, lower down. Roll the shoulders back, upward facing dog this time. Or actually, I'm doing cobra. Sorry, I'm confused. If you're doing up dog, that's totally fine. Lower back down. Downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale, left foot forward. Keep the right knee up. Lift up high lunge with a normal distance between the feet. See how much easier that makes your balancing work. Lower the hands, step forward and fold. Inhale, let's go all the way back up. Stretch to the ceiling. Exhale, hands to heart. Take a moment. Couple of slower breaths here to restore the balance inside. Notice how the mind feels. Sometimes when the body gets moving a bit more vigorously, the mind takes a chance to just quieten down, to be a little bit less prominent and loud. Enjoy that break from living in your head. Instead, we're living in our body and we're using our head to our advantage. That's a different approach. Good. A little bit of balancing. Press your left foot down. Lift the right foot up. Lift the right knee towards your chest, and then you can help with your hands to pull the knee a little bit higher And stand up nice and tall, push that left heel through the floor. Once you've got that, hold the right knee with your right hand. Start to open the right knee to the right. Go slowly until it stops. And then you can stretch left hand to the left. So just see how that feels. The balance in the middle. Of course, you might fall out. To be honest, I hope so, because that's when you learn a lot more than when you don't have any obstacles in your path. And then move the right knee forward. Let's swap hands now. Left hand holds the right knee and the right hand stretches back. I'm totally cheating. I've got a wall behind me. So if you have a wall, then you can totally use it, of course. But it's possible to do this without the wall too. And then from here, we're going to step back. I'll turn to the side. Release the right knee and stretch the right leg back. Warrior 3. Often the right hip lifts a little bit too high, so with your right hand or with both hands on the hips, just check that the hips are level. Stretch the right toes back and push the left foot down. If you're feeling terribly unstable, just bend that left knee a bit and it's going to help to balance a bit easier. Of course, this never becomes easy. That's actually why we do this. And then step all the way back. Big step to the back. Hands clasped behind lower back. High lunge with a little bit of chest and shoulder opening work. Just roll the shoulders back. If you have space, you can lift the hands a bit away from your lower back. And release both hands inside your left foot. You might need to wiggle the foot a bit wider to the side. That's okay. So right knee still up, but if you prefer the right knee down just to give that back leg a bit of rest, then that's totally fine. Now lengthen the spine forward, even look forward for a moment, and then see if you can bend your elbows and find a bit more space there. For some people, it's quite possible to lower the right elbow down, maybe also the left elbow, but that's a detail. This is not any important part of the pose. It's just a byproduct of the left hip feeling nice and open in this position. You can still lift that back knee. And to add a bit more balancing work, if you're keen, you could just stay there as well. But I like to sometimes walk the left arm under the left leg. You can stretch arms to the side, or you can wrap your arms behind your lower back and just balance here for a moment. Legs super active, but there needs to be an element of calm to make this pose possible. Slowly release. If there's only effort and no calm or surrender, the balance is not going to work. You're just going to be forcing things. Good. Now step back onto your left foot. We're reaching forward with the heart. Stretch your arms back and then push the left foot down so much that your right foot lifts again into that warrior 3 we've done before. Take a moment here. Options: step the foot forward, rest in forward fold, or for those who want to balance on the hands, there's always a little handstand hop. If you want to practice that, press the hands down, swing that right leg up a couple of times. You can start low, you can explore a little bit higher, and maybe find a moment on the hands, doesn't really matter. Relax down into ragdoll or forward fold. If you want to make it more active, take a breath. Release the arms, slowly roll up into standing. Other leg, right foot, press it down. Left knee, bring it up into the chest. And if, like me, your balance is a bit of a challenge this morning, you're in good company. And just know that balancing is as much a mental brain exercise as it is physical in the body. Open the left knee to the left with your left hand. Reach the right arm straight to the right. And just stand up tall for a moment. And I will swap hands. Right hand holds left knee. Left hand starts to stretch back. Hold your wall if you're lucky. Or if you're not lucky, then you don't have a wall there. You can call your wife, your husband to be your support for your yoga practice. I'm going to turn to the side. Left knee, release it. Stretch it back, warrior 3. Just have hands to hips for a moment to check that the left hip doesn't go too high. And remember, you can bend the right knee a bit to help with your balance. One more breath. And step the left foot back. So you can stay up in your high lunge. And then clasp the hands behind lower back. Lift the chest up. Bend the front knee. And open the front of the shoulders with this pose. Deeper breath in. And on the exhale, release your hands inside the front foot. Wiggle the right foot a bit wider so you've got space. Left knee can stay up here, this is fine. It's a bit more work for the quadriceps to keep the legs straight. Or you may put the knee down, of course. Lengthen the spine looking forward. Keep that length and space and bend your elbows. Maybe left elbow comes down, that's usually the easier one. Maybe right elbow comes down, but you might find a bit more of a task. So sometimes only one elbow goes down, sometimes no elbows go down. I've had this for many years. This is definitely my tighter side, so that right elbow doesn't ground so neatly as it did on the other side. It's good to notice these things, but also not to worry about them too much. We're working on our balance over many years of practice, not just one session. And then from this lizard pose, we can increase the balancing work if you like to. You can stay in the stretch as well. For this, you'll probably have to lift that back knee, move the right arm a bit under the right leg. You can go aeroplane arms with the arms wide, or wrap the arms around the lower back for a moment, if that's available. Otherwise, just stay in any other version that you were before. 3, 2, lengthen your chest forward. 1, release the hands. Step onto your right foot. We're leaning the chest forward, lift it off that front thigh, and then push your right foot down for warrior 3 again. And stay here a bit longer. You can rest in forward fold, or you can go upside down. Just put your hands down. This time we're swinging the left leg up and see how it goes. Just have fun, a couple of hops. And then come down into forward fold. Couple of breaths, hang down, let the body rest. Can be nice and sigh the breath out a couple of times to activate the relaxation response in your body. And then bend the knees slightly. Slowly roll up to standing. Nice. We have one more active flow. And we'll take it nice and easy, closer to the ground. But before we do that, stand up tall, lift the right knee. Roll the shoulders back. Mountain pose, strong mountain with one leg up. Open the right knee to the right. Or, if you want more challenge in your day, then you can hold the right toes and stretch the right leg to the right. Doesn't need to straighten. I would say prioritize your mountain pose, a strong lift of the chest above straightening that right leg. And I will come back to center. You can hold the knee, turn back. Oh no, I lost my wall behind me. Or you can hold the outside of that foot and do the same. Maybe looking back at the back hand. Warrior 3, here we go. Stretch your right leg back. Arms can go forward, sideways, or back to your heart, whatever feels best for you. And then bend the front knee. Step that right foot nice and far. From here, hands to heart. We'll add a little twist to counter all that balancing work. Right elbow over left knee. Push your elbows together and rotate the chest to the left. Couple of breaths here. Still a bit of balancing work. The back heel is lifted. Oops, almost fell out. And then here's a little challenge. We're going to be stepping forward without removing the twist. We're keeping that elbow over the knee. We're just going to step the right foot forward. Don't think about it. 3, 2, 1. Right foot forward. Twist the chair pose. Well done. From here, if you want to add a little arm balance to finish, that's fun. You can do squat instead or just hang down, forward fold. But if you like a moment on your hands, then I'll be joining you in a little side crow. Good. That's enough. Hang down, forward fold. Take a moment. Catch your breath. Feel the heartbeat, your circulation, and basically your aliveness. That is what we're increasing through our yoga practice here. Slowly roll up into standing. We've got one more side to do, and then we'll stay a bit closer to the ground. So press your feet down. Lift the left foot. Find your mountain, standing one leg. Open left knee to the left. Or, if you want a bigger stretch, mostly going to involve left hamstring flexibility. You can hold the left foot and stretch it out to the side, or hold the left big toe. That's actually easier for me. Strong lift in the chest. If you're collapsing, then rather straighten the chest first, and then later on work on straightening that left knee a bit more. And then move the leg back to center. You can hold your knee, left leg back, left arm back rather. Or you can stretch the foot forward in your right hand with the left arm behind you. 3, 2, 1. Rebend or release that foot rather. Go warrior 3, left leg back, heart forward. Bend the front knee, step back far into a high lunge, and I will twist hands to heart. Left elbow, move it over the right knee. Press your hands together, roll the chest open, and take a moment. Whole lot of balancing things happening. The legs are strong. The hands or the arm is pushing on the legs, connecting the upper and the lower body. And remember stepping forward here. So look down at your right foot. See it happen in your head. Visualize it. 3, 2, 1. Left foot next to the right. Twisted chair pose. You can stay here a bit longer. You can release in forward fold. Or you can play with side crow if you want. Squatting down. Hands parallel. And then lean the chest over the fingertips. And maybe lift the feet. Slowly return. Hang down in a relaxed forward fold. Bend the knees a bit. And then lower the knees down. Open the knees a little bit wider, maybe even as wide as your mat. Big toes together and fold forward into child's pose. You can have arms back, arms forward, hands under your forehead. It's all good. Take a moment to soften. No more balancing work right here. Just resting on the surface underneath you. Take a moment to see how energized your body feels. Balancing is a great work to get out of your head. Because if you think too much or you're very stressed in your thoughts, your balance is not going to work really. You have to have a sense of letting go of that to have any chance of finding more balance. And at the same time as putting in this effort, see how very calm and centered you start to feel when we are moving through this practice like this. It instills a sense of confidence. I've got this. Even if we fell out 100 times, it doesn't matter. That confidence can still be there. Just you've got this, you are practicing, you're showing up. The falling out doesn't matter, it's the coming back and trying again that matters. And then slowly release or lift back up. Nice. I want to end with a little standing pose before we sit down, and it's going to be eagle pose into tree. So 2 quite challenging balancing poses. Left foot, press it down. Bend both knees a bit and then cross your right leg over the left. You could just cross once, or for some people might be possible to hook the toes behind the calf. That's a detail. Or if you're like, ooh, I'm feeling really unbalanced today, then use a little kickstand with the right toes there outside your other foot. Nice. And then it's going to be right elbow under the left for the full eagle pose. Squeeze the legs, squeeze the arms together. Lift your elbows a bit. 3, 2, 1. Let's come into tree. If you can, without putting that right foot down. See how it goes. Right foot inside left thigh. Push the 2 together. And when you're ready, celebrate by putting your arms up. A couple of breaths here to find your center. And often to find your center, it's necessary to lose it, to find it, to lose it, to find it. So that's quite normal that this doesn't just happen. You won't wake up one day and say, from now for the rest of my life, I'm balanced. It doesn't go that way. It's a continuous process. Release that. Well done. Shake the legs out. Let's do the other side. Right foot, press it down. Both knees bend a bit. Wrap the left leg around the right. Remember, kickstand, help with your balance. A nice way to start to practice this pose. Maybe left toes lift. Maybe they hook behind the other leg. Make sure your hips don't twist too much away from that center line. You can check for yourself. And then if you want to add the arms, whoa, it's left arm under the right. Lift the elbows slightly and settle in. 3, slow breaths. 2, 1. Slowly lift up. Strong standing poses coupled together. Quite a bit of work for the hips and for your mind. There's a high level of focus and steadiness that's required. Left foot inside right thigh. When you're ready, lift the arms and relax here. Just relax. Can you relax even as you fall out and as you come back? And as you repeat that process, every time you wobble, you relax more. Slowly release. Shake the feet out or the legs out. And then come to sit. Take a seat, legs out in front of you. And then place your right ankle on top of the left thigh, just above your knee. As you could just sit upright. I'm not pushing down strongly with this right arm, but what you can do is gently bounce the leg up and down. You can go slower or faster. You're just sort of inviting a bit of movement of the thigh bone in your hip socket there. Just gently. Without overdoing it, without moving the leg in a range that it doesn't enjoy. And then a couple of times you can hold this right foot, pick it up, and then move it forward and back. Rocking the baby. Or if you have a bit more space, place your right foot in the left elbow crease. And then wrap your hands around the lower leg and rock the baby like that. Couple of rocks. Relax the breath. Your hard work is over. Nice. And place the right ankle back above the knee where it came from. And place or move the left knee in. So bending the left knee. And if you sit further away from your legs, it's going to be milder, this hip stretch. If you move the hips closer to your left heel and sit more upright, then it's going to be a stronger stretch in the outer right hip. Wherever you are, push your right ankle down on the left knee. Take a few breaths here. You're welcome to stay here. Or if you want to play a little bit more in this little compact balance, you can push yourself forward. So now you're on the left toes. You're going to have to push the left toes down quite a bit. And then fully sit down on that left heel and see if you can make the hands lighter. Maybe bring the hands to your heart. We're just playing, remember. Nothing serious here. And then release that. Let go of any thoughts you might have about yourself, either good or bad, because both are not very useful. Either you think, oh no, I really suck at this pose, I'll never be able to do it, and there's a lot of other people who are way better than me. Not useful, and not true also. Or you think, wow, I'm fantastic, I nailed this pose, I'm so good at this yoga thing. There's probably nothing left to learn. I don't need to practice anymore. Not useful and not true. Left ankle right thigh, just above the knee. Sit upright. Just stay here if this is good. Or try to move the left knee up and down a little bit. So not pushing with great force to make that knee go lower. That would not be a good thing for your knee, for sure. But just a bit of movement, not in the knee really, but in the hip joint. That's what we're looking for, just to loosen things up. Be gentle with this. And then you can continue that, or hold your foot and move it forward and back in front of you. Or if that works, left foot in the right elbow crease. Wrap your arms around and rock from side to side. The more you lift that foot and pull it closer to your chest, the deeper the stretch will be. So you can adjust the intensity for yourself here. Good. Baby is sleeping. Place it down carefully. Bend the right knee and start to walk your hips a little bit forward until you feel enough. It's hard to say what is enough, but you will know when it's enough. Something that gets your attention, but it doesn't stop your breath. I think that's a good description. And press the left ankle onto the right thigh as you lift your chest up. There's bound to be quite a big difference between the left side and the right side, so just be aware of that, but don't make a big story out of it. We're just continuing our practice, evening things out slowly as they go, but they'll never be completely the same. It's not necessary. And then maybe stay here. If you want to play, then you can press yourself forward onto the right toes. Now there's not a lot to support you. It's going to have to come from your core, and just see how that goes for you. Maybe make the hands a bit lighter, but mainly don't be too serious about it. 3, 2, 1. Okay, that didn't work anymore. Release that. Shake the legs out. Good. Open the legs wide into Upavishta, the wide-legged forward fold. Now make the legs a bit active, actually quite active, and then lift the chest up. You can use your hands behind you to create a sense of lift in the spine. If you're a little bit further back, that's fine, but still try to lift your chest up. That's an important part here. Active legs, long spine. The angle of your torso to the legs is way less important than this here, the active legs and the long spine. And then if you don't feel a lot sitting upright like this, then you can walk the hands forward. And this is one of those poses, it is what it is. Some people easily lie all the way down. Some people struggle to sit up, and there's everything in between. So wherever you are, it's okay. This is the right place. Keep the legs slightly active. Can you still engage your quadriceps muscles to straighten the knees? And then get that sense of hinging from your hips. So you're hollowing out the space around your center to then fold yourself forward and down. Down is a byproduct. I would say forward is more important. Of course, you can hold your feet as well, but it's good advice not to pull really hard with the hands, to let this folding come more from the inside, from your body letting you in, rather than you forcing something here. And then slowly lift up. Now turn the torso over to the right leg. So you're facing over the right leg, keep the right foot and leg active. I like to have one hand behind, one in the front, and if you still have a bit of space, you can walk your hands a bit over that leg, but it's not necessary. You might just be sitting straight up, twisting a bit to the right. It's fine. If you want to add a bit of a twist, I like to place the right hand a bit further behind me and hold the outer right leg or shin or ankle, whatever you reach, it's fine. And then turn the chest to the right a bit. And then release it back up. Turn over the left side. Keep the spine long. Maybe this is it. If you feel enough, then this is you. This is your stop. Maybe walk a bit forward. Maybe add more of a twist, and if you want, you can add the holding the outer leg or foot, and then the left hand behind you to push gently and turn the chest to the left. Couple of breaths in the shape. And then slowly release. Straighten the legs out. Last pose before we lie down is the seated forward bend, long spine. Maybe hands for support. Maybe walking a bit forward, and then wherever you end up, it's good. It's good. You might not think it's good, but it's just right for you today, based on your history, the things you went through, the movements you did or didn't do. This is what's available. So work with that. Couple of breaths to soften in. I'm saying soften, so it's not like you're pulling yourself as deep as possible in the last pose before Shavasana. And then slowly lift back up and lie down on your back. The ultimate balanced pose. This is where we balance all those efforts, the muscular effort and the mental effort, and the energy that is needed to move through this practice. We balance it with surrender, with rest, with relaxation, with letting go. Equally important. In time, they're often not, but they should be. We should pay as much attention to resting as we do to exerting ourselves. So take a moment, get comfortable, let the shoulders melt down on the mat. Let the spine and the hips melt down on the mat. Let the arms and legs feel heavy. And let the head feel heavy. And just enjoy this pure presence of being here, being in your body, in this space, with these sounds, with your thoughts, with your breath, with everything that is here. No resistance. And then start to take a few deeper breaths. Gently move your hands and move your feet. Bend your knees and roll over onto your side. and then push yourself up to sitting. Place your hands together in front of the heart. Touch your hands to your forehead, to your heart, and bow to yourself on the mat. Namaste, everybody. Thank you so much for practicing. I hope you're feeling a sense of ease, a bit of balance restored, a bit of new energy to move through the rest of your day or your coming week. And I hope to see you here again soon. Take care.